Jarvis has officially been unbanned from Fortnite, but can he actually play in tournaments? The rule's a little bit confusing and I see a lot of people saying different things. I want to break down whether Jarvis can play in tournaments, whether I think he will, because he's been playing in pro scrims. Speaking of pro scrims, we have to talk about Pete versus Pollo. The off-spawn continues and the score is getting very, very close now. I also want to talk about some insane new mythics that just got leaked to be releasing over the next few weeks. There's a lot to talk about. Let's jump into it. Now, we're not kicking off today's video talking about Pete versus Pollo off spawn. That's gonna be later in the video. I want to kick off talking about something else for once. So we have a whole bunch of big names being unbanned at the moment. There's a lot of confusion around whether they can play in tournaments or not. Jarvis being the main one. Jarvis obviously got banned, I think 6-7 years ago now, for making a YouTube video of him using cheats. Now, very stupid idea. Obviously, if you watch the video, it was basically like a how to cheat. Not sure what was going through Jarvis's mind at that point, but he has been unbanned now. He's making a whole bunch of content with some of the biggest names in Fortnite. He's been playing games with Clicks, Savage, Lacey. He's even playing with Ali, but he's talked about how he wants to compete in tournaments, and he was even playing in pro scrims yesterday with Reed. He was playing with Reed and Epic Whale in the tier 1 NA pro scrims. We had Jarvis in a lobby going up against Pete, Pollo, Booger, Clicks. Like, it was insane. So I've read the rules and there is a lot of confusion. I understand why there is some confusion, because there's two different types of bans you get for cheating. One for being banned while cheating in tournaments, and one for getting banned while cheating in everything else. Because Jarvis didn't play in tournaments when he was cheating, he should be eligible to play in tournaments, but he can't, and it's because there is, I believe, a bug right now. That's where the confusion is coming from. I'm seeing a lot of people say, oh, Jarvis got banned on an old account, but because he's on a new account, he can play in tournaments, and there's a whole bunch of different theories. Basically, I'll read the rules out to you. So, players who have used cheats will receive a 1-year matchmaking ban for the first offense, lifetime ban for the second. That is what Jarvis has had now. So he got his 1-year ban. I know it was way longer than that. These are the new rules, but basically, in Epic's mind, he received his 1-year ban. He is back. He can now play the game in any capacity. He can play pubs, creative, tournaments, whatever he wants to play. The second rule is players who have used cheats and participate in tournaments, they will receive a 1-year matchmaking ban, but they also get an immediate lifetime ban from tournaments, plus potential loss of past tournament winnings. So that's where a lot of people are getting confused. They think that Jarvis is banned from tournaments because people who cheat in tournaments are forever banned from tournaments, but they can come back and play pubs and creative and whatever. So Jarvis should be allowed to play tournaments now, but there seems to be a glitch right now with these players. We have a few records now of players who have been unbanned for cheating, who have tried to play tournaments, and it says they're still locked. Someone told me that Jarvis tried to open up his compete tab and it said he was locked from tournaments because of cheating, but I don't know if he was just locked because he hasn't played his 14 tournaments. So just like everyone else, if Jarvis wants to now play in cash cups or FNCS, he needs to play a bunch of ranked cups and OG cups to get up to the 14 events, and then he should be able to play in tournaments. But apparently there is a bug where players who were banned not in tournaments just aren't able to play. So a lot of confusion there. I'm excited to see if Jarvis comes back and actually competes. The fact that he's playing scrims and 1v1ing pros and seems like he's taking it serious is going to be super interesting. Jarvis was one of the best players in the world when he got banned. He should have made World Cup realistically on NA West. He was a phenomenal player in the very top 0.1%, but it's been 6 years. It's been a very, very long time. He's holding up well for having been banned for 6 years, but it's going to take a lot of grinding to get back to the point of playing in FNCS and qualifying for major tournaments, but it should be really good content to watch if he actually goes for it. I'm excited to see it. Next up, some exciting news of someone who might be back to competing. Now, he has not made any announcement. This is me just getting super excited because I am a big fanboy of a bunch of the OG guys. We had this clip from Bucky's stream and it has me extremely excited.
What the f***? Don't say it so! Don't say it so! Sappho Rudy is coming back! Oh my god! Oh my god, Saf is coming back!
In case you're confused about why this clip is so exciting, don't worry, I will explain. This is Saf, as in like Zate and Saf back on Fortnite, but not only is he just back on Fortnite, he's not just playing like pub squads with friends, or maybe he's playing with like his little brother or something. He is on a mechanical training map, which to me usually means someone is getting back into the game in a somewhat serious sense. So Saf is back on Fortnite playing a mechanical training map. Now, again, Saf did make a return to competitive Fortnite after his retirement to play FNCS with Faxity, which was super exciting to watch. It was really fun to watch. I believe Saf is actually on the west coast of NA now. I don't believe he is in the east coast anymore, but I am extremely excited that Saf might potentially be coming back to the game. Again, he hasn't made any announcement. I'm just going off this clip, but it's enough to get me, who is a big fan of Zayt and Saf, hope that Saf might be back. Maybe. Fingers crossed. I don't know. All right, now we're back to talking about Pete versus Pollo of Spawn. We had 9 games of pro scrims yesterday where they went head to head, but there was a couple of fills in the mix. Because Acorn just turned 21, happy birthday Acorn if you happen to be watching, he wasn't playing the pro scrims. So we had Aids and Pollo playing with Yumi again. Now, again, this is a fill, so you can take it with a grain of salt. All the scores from today, I'm counting it up on my scoreboard for the overall scores, but I will keep a separate scoreboard for when they are playing as full trios. Now, I believe, again, I've verified this with both teams as well. This isn't just me. When they're both playing with their full trios, the score right now is 6 to Pollo, 5 to Peterbot. The overall score now, though, is tied up at 11-11 as of today. Now, I had both Pete and Pollo in my Twitch chat agreeing that the official score is 11-11 before kids come at me in the comments. Both teams have agreed that if you playing with a Phil, but that Phil is actually a pro player, not Faxity, then it counts, which I think is pretty fair. Yes, you have to assume that Acorn is better than Yumi. Acorn is a multi-FNCS champion. Yumi is an NA West FNCS champion. A lot of people pretend like Yumi is just some random friend who sucks at the game, but I get why some people get funny with the whole, you know, they had a fill, but if Pete and Pollo are saying it counts, I'm saying it counts. The overall score is 11-11, but let me show you some clips so you can decide who you think is doing better in the overall spawn fight. So, game 1 of Pro Scrims, it was looking very, very rough until Pete absolutely clutched up. Still fun though. Let's see how Yumi goes. Yumi gets the god chest first. Pete gets out dropped though, like pretty considerably. It looks like they get full top control. Pete and Cold have to swerve, and Ritual gets stuck on the second layer. They're getting out dropped, man. They're getting out dropped. We're getting severely out dropped, it looks like, at the moment. He's got the gold sentinel though. I mean, sorry, green sentinel could make something happen, but most likely not. Oh, takes down one. Aids is down. 2v1 though. Yumi pushes him out, and oh my god, Pete with the 1-punch on the Pollo. Wait, it's Pete versus Yumi in a 1v1. Wait, Pete versus Yumi. Wait, Pete just 1v3 clutch this? Oh my god. Pete, Cold, and Ritual. I should say Pete wins the spawn fight in the 1v3. The green sentinel. Damn. It's also worth pointing out the reason why Pollo was so late to back up the fight here against Pete was because he was too busy dancing on Cold. So this one, I don't think Pete should have won it, but he did. And it's worth mentioning, straight after this, Pete went on to get a 21 kill win in this game. Right now, if Pete's team makes it off spawn, their chance of getting a win, but not only a win, like a 15 plus kill win, is like 75% at this point. It's actually ridiculous how good Pete's team does once they make it off spawn from this PY. Yes, the loot is good, but Pete's team is absolutely popping it off when they make out of the PY. Now, that is one of the bigger factors, I think, when a team does have a fill. Obviously, Pollo ages are mostly focused on the spawn fight. They're playing with Yumi. That is where having a fill will have a big impact on their overall performance because they're missing literally their IGL. So I will give that one to Pollo a little bit for why Pollo's been struggling so much, but it is worth pointing out in the Eval Cup, when there was 4 games, Pollo's team made it off spawn 3 games and didn't win a single one, where Pete made it off spawn once and won a game. And that was in an actual tournament with Pollo playing with his full trio. So right now, Pete's team is looking better overall when it comes to making it off spawn, especially with their off spawn score now being 11-11. Now, I'm talking about fills and I'm talking about Yumi still being really solid, but I have to show off one of the spawn fights where it finally came down to an actual 3v3. It wasn't just a straight up who got the gun first. Both teams landed. Pete's team swerved down the bottom. Acorn's team got top control. Well, I should say Pollo's team got top control, but then we had them actually break down in a proper fight, and this is how it went. Wait, what? What is happening with the drops right now? What? Is it glitched? Where's Ritual and Cold? Ritual and Cold, I think they're testing. Ritual and Cold are in like Narnia. Wait, Cold's definitely got not best drop. Ritual definitely doesn't have best drop. It looks like Pete swerved over and tried to go on Pollo's drop. Wait, Pete might have best, but he's a little bit low though. He's pretty low. He might have to slide up and try and swerve in. Nice, gets on the first chest, gets the pistol, doesn't get grabbed behind him, but no, they do have best drops. Ritual gets down first as well. It was Pollo who messed up his drop map. One down, Ritual takes down Vectrium. Who the f is Vec? Wait, what? What is happening? Aegis goes down. Pollo's now down the bottom level. I'm pretty sure Pete's been winning this based on it right now. Yumi, I think, in the back corner. But Ritual goes down, though. Ritual gets taken down by Pollo. Pollo in the 1v2 against Cold, and Ritual takes one with him. It's Pollo and Yumi now. It's the West boys. But it is a 3v2 if they get this res here. Pollo's going to try and pressure the res. Comes around the corner. Only has the Fury AR. He's running out of bullets. Takes down Ritual. And Yumi comes in and cleans up. They lose the 3v2. What just happened? What? Yumi comes in with the double kill while they're trying to go for the res. So Ages is down. Ages went down to Cold. Pete's over here. Cold's here. Ritual's down with Pollo. Pollo's a solo. So Pollo just out beams Ritual, takes him down, gets the Fury out, beams Cold on the way down too. At this point now, it's Cold in the box. Pete comes to back him up. They're going to go for the double res. But meanwhile, Yumi has other ideas. Yumi just drops in the side wall, catches him off guard. Outlaw 1, Outlaw 2, double kill. And Yumi, Pollo, and Ages win the second game of session 1. What have I just watched? I don't know whether Acorn would have dropped down and tried to make that hero play, but Yumi was a good sport about it again. He came to my Twitch chat making jokes. Honestly, it's really weird seeing this off-spawn fight and the vibes around it. It seems like both teams really are just enjoying contesting each other. Like, they're enjoying the fun of it. It's such a weird position. I guess both teams are qualified to LAN. We still do know we are getting a major new drop spot being added to the map before FNCS. I don't know if there is that theory behind the scenes where they're talking about how one of them is going to leave there, because this is one of the weirdest off spawns I've ever seen, where both teams are just fully locked in, grinding and practicing, wanting to win it, but then seems so friendly with each other about winning it. Like, there's some smack talk, but it still seems like friendly, enjoyable smack talk. Kind of like how you would smack talk your friend after beating them in a 1v1. It's not like the actual toxic off spawn, you suck, you're the worst player, you have no earnings, you should leave, you've never achieved anything in Fortnite. Like, it's none of that. It seems like fun banter. So I really don't know what's going on with this drop spot, but it's so fitting that after 22 off spawns, it is tied up at 11-11. I will say, I think Pete is starting to get the edge a little bit, just because their drops are getting a lot better. Pete's drops as a trio are starting to improve, and I think that's why they're starting to bring some of these wins back. But again, that could just be because Yumi's playing with them, not Acorn. Maybe they get Acorn back in there and they absolutely dominate. We'll have to see. I am going to keep a separate score going of how the off spawn looks in tournaments, and again, we've had 1 Eval Cup finals, and right now it's 3 to Pollo, 1 to Peterbot. We'll see if with this week's tournaments, with the Eval Cup and the Div Cups, that changes. Now, speaking of tournaments, we do have another big drop spot change I want to talk about. We have Kanata and Visuals teams swapping drop spots. So we originally had Visuals, Minished, and Braids, who were going Foxy Floodgate last season when they qualified to LAN. They now switched to Crime City, despite the fact that Kanata, Bolts, and Sphinx wanted to go Crime City, but they had the LAN spot, so Kanata's team was like, all right, we'll go Foxy Floodgate instead. That's all good. Now, it looks like Visuals wants to go back to Foxy Floodgate. They told Kanata, hey, we want it back. We'll contest you for it. Kanata's team more than happy to give it up. Like, we didn't even want to be here. We wanted to be at Crime City anyway. They've now gone back over to Crime City, and honestly, both teams are looking really good from this. Kanata won multiple games in scrims and popped off. Visuals team actually won one of the scrim sessions. I guess they just know Foxy Floodgate better. I don't actually know which POI has better loot. There's been a bunch of pros talking about Foxy Floodgate being like a sleeper tier 1 drop because it has so many shrines around it, which are really, really good at the moment with the amount of loot they give. So I don't really actually know which one comes out on top, but both teams seem to be really happy after swapping their drops. I also want to talk about some of the new mythics we're going to be getting throughout this season. We have even more superpowers coming out. Some of them were leaked in the original gameplay trailer. We've now had the Switch 2 trailer, which leaked, which then actually showed a bunch of these mythics in more details. One of them is you're now going to be able to turn into a bird. So instead of having the terrible kind of just like bird glove things that suck that no one's using, they're called mist gauntlets, you now actually have the ability to turn into a bird and fly through the sky. This could be pretty insane. I'm pretty sure it mentioned somewhere about you being invulnerable while doing it. I don't know if that's actually the case. That is going to be ridiculous. We also got to see the Storm Beast kind of ability where she flies into the sky and lands down doing a giant AoE effect. That is going to be ridiculous. We got to see another angle of the Superman punch. So if you get that Superman ability at the new Superman POI and it looks like it's some kind of like a Deku smash ability where it's going to like break through builds, that could be the reason why we see Pete or Pollo's team leave to try to lock that down. But we've still got a lot of big updates to come throughout this season. We've got 2 weeks now of Div Cups, then we've got the 2-week summer break, and then we're straight into FNCS. So these items are going to have to be added either in the next 2 weeks, or they're going to have to be added in the middle of FNCS, because Epic never add major items while they're on summer break because there's not as many staff around in case something breaks. So we're either going to get these items in the POI added right before FNCS, or we're going to have them added during FNCS, which is just going to be absolutely ridiculous.